On the edge of the dabbling forest, on the 12th of sandstone in my first year in my fortress of first embraced, the dwarven child of Onil Raznil created a magnetite nazush named Ushalabir, or Treason Romanced, out of the fog of his strange mood. The experience wizened him beyond his years, and he immediately grew a massive beard. Or maybe he already had that. Children look very odd in the Steam version. For those of you who, like me, have no clue what a nazush is, it is a large, handheld cloth-stringed instrument with a ceramic neck connecting to a bone body. The strings are tied from the top of the neck down over the body, and the musician picks the 4 strings with a ceramic plectrum. Sounds pretty cool, right? Especially as a strange mood artifact. Well, that's what everyone else thought too, because people started asking around about it, and my dwarves, being the friendly little hosts that they are, told these strangers where to find it, which was in my tavern, being played for guests. If you have an artifact tier magnetite nazush, you're gonna want to show it off to the guests a little bit. Or at least I thought showing it off was a fine move, until people kept getting caught sneaking around trying to take it. They even had the audacity to yell about how much they wanted my artifact. Eventually, as the attempts at secretly stealing the nazush failed, these would-be thieves turned to straight-up robbery, and the tavern turned into a whirlwind of combat. There was a goblin fighting a bard, a dog fighting a spear dwarf, and a spear dwarf fighting a mercs dwarf. It was utter chaos. Eventually, as the combat subsided, there were 2 dwarves dead, and they were both among those that had been acting shady and looking for the artifact. So, success. The nazush was just sitting in the doorway to the still room, having been dropped by one of the robbers as they tried to make their escape. And so after I reclaimed it, and it was returned to its rightful place in the tavern, I figured the whole ordeal was probably behind us. I was wrong, of course, and just a couple minutes later the cycle started back up, with my dwarves sharing information about treason romanced that they shouldn't have, and a human crossbowman yelling about how she won't be taken alive as she tried to charge her way through a mass of dwarves to steal it. That obviously went very poorly for her when she was confronted with one of my militia commanders and was very much not taken alive, and peace was once again restored to the fortress. But back-to-back robberies had kind of dissuaded me from the idea of keeping my artifacts so readily accessible, so when I received another notification about people snooping around looking for information a couple minutes later, I went to work instituting a plan that would keep my artifacts safe. Off the edge of the bedroom wing, I dug down into the ground, through to the cavern water below, carving an island in the middle and nearly killing the dwarf responsible for mining it out. From the mainland fortress to the island, I built a bridge that would lift towards the fortress proper, blocking even a view of the island when it was retracted. On the island itself, I placed 3 pedestals, one for each of the artifacts that I hadn't already placed down as furniture somewhere in the fortress. On the pedestals, I placed Treason Romanced, the Magnetite Nazush, Born Hatchets, the Quiet Order, the Coal Crown, and Fang Lods, the Pearwood Bucket. Definitely not an odd one out in that batch. Once they were loaded up, I gave the order and the bridge was raised, locking them into their vault where nobody could touch them anymore. Unless any amphibian people try to rob me, amphibian people would have a real easy time robbing me. Without the sweet sounds of the nazush, the vibes in the tavern suffered a little bit, but people didn't seem to be enjoying the constant killing that was going on either, so it was a bit of a lose-lose situation. Only for my dwarves, of course. It is always a win for me if I get to hoard my artifacts like a dragon with a pile of gold. Just keep the amphibian people away from me. Thanks for watching.